So my adventure continues today. I'm at the port in Newark. Not sure if I'm supposed to be filming here, so I'll stick just to my cab again. So there's a bunch of ports here, or not ports, what do they call them, like berth, you know, B-E-R-T-H, berth, like places where they receive cargo. And it's very confusing because, for example, this Marsh, my address was on Marsh Street, M-A-R-S-H, Marsh. And that Marsh Street, like basically you go on 78 East, I-78, and then you turn on 9, and then you look for the signs that say Port Newark. And you're basically going right past the Newark International Airport. And oh, I think my guy is coming to put stickers on my machine finally. And then I got lost a little bit over there because, oh no, this is the guy from my neighbor in a Ford pickup truck. So I got lost because, well, not lost, I knew like my address, like it says 171 Marsh Street. The only problem is that this Marsh Street, it has a break. You know, it's not like if you're in the beginning at what is it, Corbin, like you take Port, Corbin south, and then you turn left on Marsh, and there's a break in that Marsh Street, which I couldn't understand. Like on the map it looks okay, right? But I called, I found their website on the night before, so I called this terminal where I'm supposed to go, and there's a, it says for directions, like directions was number 1, because I'm guessing everybody gets lost, right? For this is Ports of America, Newark Terminal. For directions, press 1. And then you would think it would give you just one message. Instead it says, for directions from New Jersey Turnpike, press 1. For New Jersey from 78 East to berth 16, press 2. And it's like 10 messages, you know? So finally I figure out which one I want, and it says press 4. And then very quickly she says, from 78 East, go south on Corbin, left on Tyler, right on Export, left on Calcutta, left on Bengal Street, and left on Marsh. Thank you. Like, what? So I had to replay that message like 5 times. So let me say again. 78 East, and then you take Port Street, following the directions for Newark Port, right? And then very quickly, south on Corbin, left on Tyler, right on Export, left on Calcutta, left on Bengal, left on Marsh. And basically you arrived, you know? And like, wait a second, I'm sitting at Marsh. I'm sitting at Marsh and Corbin. So basically I was going south on Corbin, and I just, as my Google Map says, turn left on Marsh. And I turned there, but I remember, you know, I want to make sure I go into the right place, because you know, you can get stuck here. Like, it's, some of these places are very tight, and there was a pull-out place in there where container guys park, and so I stopped right there. And then 171 was further down the street, but it's a good thing that I called them, because turns out I had to go like this, you know. I wouldn't be able to reach that 171 if I stayed on Marsh, so I had to go, but at least I didn't go back to Corbin. I just went, I took Marsh to Export, because Export connects with Marsh. Like Tyler is, like, I was here and they said Corbin to Tyler, and then I think Export is here, so I went Marsh, Export, Calcutta, Bengal, Marsh. Crazy. And I go in, I give them the paperwork. They say park in this area in the middle here, wait, somebody will come out. A guy comes out, says, where's the serial number? And of course the dozer is on the trailer. I said, it's under the dash. And the guy says, I cannot see it. I said, well, you have to climb, you know, into the cab. Oh, we're not allowed to climb on the machine. Well, I'm trying hard not to be sarcastic. So I'm saying, I have a picture on my phone. Is it readable? Yes, sir. I can show you the picture. Basically, yes, sir, no, sir. Otherwise, you'll be here for 5 days. These ports are crazy. I've been here many times, not to this one, not to this terminal, but to other ones. And so I grabbed my iPhone, I show the guy the serial plate, we compare the notes, the serial number on my picture versus the serial number on my paperwork. Okay, hang tight. Then another guy comes out. I wanted to ask him what happened to guy number 1, but I guess he lost his job probably because he couldn't climb on the dozer or something. So this other guy says, do you have a bill of sale, or maybe the original title, or at least the original invoice? And I said, well, I have the invoice on my computer, but it's just the invoice. It doesn't say paid, or it doesn't have any stamp on it, but let me see what I can find. I said, I have a printer, I have internet inside the truck. The guy says, okay, when you find the paperwork, just come see me at that first door over there. And they have a couple of those you know, those trailers they use somewhere in like oil fields for an office, kind of like an office, basically, like an office type of trailer. Actually, they're pretty cozy. And on that door in big letters it says employees only, no admittance. But hey, the guy told me to come see him, so I call my broker. The broker says, all I got is what I sent you. So all I have is like, okay, I gave him the bond, I showed him my bill of lading. By the way, I think he took it. Did he take my bill of lading? Yeah, I need it back. But I can print it if he keeps it. But they said that they're not gonna sign. Like they say, if they accept the machine, what they do is they hate signing things. So they never sign anything. So if you go to a port, basically don't even bother asking them for a signature. All they do is they stamp. If they're in a good mood, they will stamp the dock receipt. And of course the dock receipt is the most important document. Without that, they will not unload you, because dock receipt, it has a kind of like a guarantee that somebody will pay for this, for the shipment, right? And it shows the vessel name and where it's going, and you know, stuff like that. So it's dock receipt, it's kind of like a ticket for the cargo. Okay, hold on, my guy is coming. Yeah, so my little scheme did not work. Man, I'm telling you, life is stranger or actually funnier than fiction. So the guy brings me here and he says, park the machine. Oh, you cannot see it. Basically where that cat excavator is, and there's a wheel loader, so there's a gap, kind of like, you see the fence in there? There's a fence and there's Jersey barriers in there. So they want me to back this thing, to back it toward the Jersey barrier, right? So I thought they would allow me to, you know, because I can drag it off, right? Like now I know I have a scale ticket, right? You guys saw in the previous video, it's not 75,000 pounds, it's 58,000 pounds, because my gross weight is that. That's my gross weight, right? What is that? Basically 118,000 pounds minus 60 my empty weight, that leaves 58. So this is, you know, back in the day they didn't make them as heavy as they are now, right? And so what happened is I asked the guy who brought me in here, you know, because this is a port and they're loading the ship right now. Not for this is a different ship, but basically people are working here, there's machinery moving, you know, forklifts. And I saw a guy, you know, it's cool, like they're shipping these bikes in here. And so one lucky guy, his job is just come here, unpack, you know, take all the straps off and just ride the bike into the ship. Man, what a cool job, right? It looks like brand new bike. I know, all these brand new bikes. So I just saw one guy, he takes one bike, drives on the ship, walks back, takes another one. Of course, it'll take him whole day, you know, but that's his job, right? So, and so I told the escort, like the port guy who showed me where to bring the machine, and he says, I have to escort you because they're working on the ship. And I said, what do you mean working? And he says, working means they're loading the ship. And I said, just in case, I said, it's pretty warm now, so it's plus 10 or 50 F now. And I still see that leak under the right hand side sprocket or drive there in the back, but I talked to my now house expert David from Barrie, Ontario, of all places. He's the D8 expert for this channel, and he says, no, that's has nothing to do with the transmission. And he says, but you have a valve in there. If there's not enough oil, the valve will prevent the shifter to be shifted. He says it's as simple as that. So you just need enough hydraulic oil, SAE 10, Society of Automotive Engineers 10. And so yeah, I showed this probably in the previous video, right? So my customer sent me money. I bought 2 5-gallon jugs, so 10 gallons, so 38 liters, and I put them. David, the cat expert, told me where to look for the dipstick and the filler tube, and I was able to open it without the Allen key, because yeah, it was just slightly tight. So I used a pipe wrench. I have a pipe wrench, which I need to thank Alan from Keswick for. Alan, good job. So the pipe wrench came in handy, because I grabbed that, you know, nut and was able just to slightly turn it, and then I was able to open it with my hand. It's under the seat, that's where you put the oil, and I have the funnel, but the same problem. So yeah, so the guy says, the port guy says, oh, it's supposed to move it under its own power, when I asked him for a boost. But you know, I said, well, you know, it's a 1965 machine. I said it might start by itself, but just in case. And the guy says, okay, so they're working over here, so they're boosting all these machinery, because I think it's the same deal. It probably goes to Africa, and it's all machinery there, you know, excavators, wheel loaders. They all look very old, because I guess people over there, they cannot afford, you know, expensive machines, so they buy cheap ones, and they're all ugly and old and they don't work. And so that boost guy, he's running around boosting stuff. And so then the port guy was kind enough. He says, okay, I'll send the guy over, but he says, you better do it now, because he's going on a lunch break till 1 o'clock. And all these port guys, see now it's 11:49. All these port guys, they have a lunch break, I think from 11:30 to 1. It's kind of like a trade union thing, right? And so which is on the one, and so he came over, we tried to boost it with just 2 cables, didn't work. And then he gave me the something to spray into the air intake. I did that, and then I said, well, do you think I should use preheat? Because I know if you turn the ignition key backwards for like 10 seconds, it preheats the something in there. And so we did that, and eventually it started. And so now the dozer is running, and I try to move it, same deal. Like the shifter doesn't want to go into a gear, so I open the seat, I look at with the engine running, I look at the level of oil, and it's at the very bottom. You can barely see at the very bottom of the dipstick, and that thing, to make it full, you need 400 liters. 400 liters, which is basically what, like 100 gallons is 378, and then 22 more liters, what, like 5 gallons? It's like 105 gallons in that tank. And so of course, if it was empty and I put in 10 gallons, that's definitely not enough. And so I don't want to shut down the machine and like let it run, because it has enough fuel in the tank there. I don't think it's spending too much fuel. But yeah, I would drag it. But the thing is, they showed me that spot, and there's no way I can put it like that, you know, by towing, right? Because you have to push. Like I can maybe drag it off the trailer and turn it. Yeah, just go and turn it, and so, but it'll be still like 10 meters away from the fence. It'll be pretty much like in the middle of this parking lot, you know. And then how do you explain to them, hey, we told you to park it near the fence, what is it doing over here? Oh, I got tired, you know. I don't know, so I cannot do it. And so I'm calling everybody. Oh, first off, I went in and I took all the oil that I have. I don't care, 200 viscosity, you know, 500, 80, 75. I found I had a jug of nice 10W30 for my engine oil. I put everything in there. So I put in probably maybe 1.5 gallons, just on an off chance that it'll be enough. And I waited a little bit, nothing. So that shifter still doesn't want to go in. And so I said, that's it, guys. I'm tired of doing everything myself, because I had to call the auction to send me the bill of lading and the bill of sale and stamped invoice paid, right? Because the customer never, and the broker never gave me this. Like, I'm doing everything myself here, right? I'm buying oil, I'm pouring oil, I'm getting missed paperwork, I'm getting the bond, of course, I got permits, because it's oversized load still, right? I got all the permits. Like I'm doing everything. And then the customer says, well, Sergey, I'll pay you, maybe, you know, just get the oil. I said, that's it, I'm drawing the line here, you know. I said, I'm at the port, my paperwork is stamped received. I said, I cannot leave. If I leave here, they'll think something is wrong, right? So I said, you guys organize something, you know. Oh, and I had the machine washed. Remember, he couldn't even organize the wash. And then he gave me money. I went to the truck wash and I washed it. Of course, this is all taking my time as carrier, right? Otherwise, I'll probably deliver like Tuesday instead of Monday. So, and they never preheated the machine before loading. They knew I was coming Monday. So anyway, like from the first day, I was doing way above. I was doing things way above my pay grade, you know, like they say, oh, that's above your pay grade. So I'm the guy holding this together, you know. And so now they wanted me to go and buy oil. I said, that's it, I'm drawing a line here. You get the oil. I already delivered the machine officially. I have the paperwork, I have the dock receipt, you know. They do, oh, by the way, yeah, in the port, like I started saying that the port guys, they never sign anything. It's just like they're afraid to touch your paperwork, but okay, we'll stamp it. And so he stamped my dock receipt, and even as I was waiting there, so dock receipt means that's it, the load is delivered, because it says received. So I quickly scanned it with my phone, I sent it to myself on the computer, then I see my escort guy is still not coming, so I went to the computer, boom, boom, boom. I had all the paperwork ready, right away I emailed I emailed the broker, proof of delivery, and I emailed my factoring company. So for all intents and purposes, this load is delivered. But now I know exactly what it needs, right? It's not a mystery. That guy in Ritchie Brothers, that guy Beetle, if you're watching this, you missed one tiny tidbit of aspect of this dozer. It needs transmission oil, pure and simple. And I see he opened the seat. I didn't see him pull out the dipstick. He never checked the transmission oil. Now I'm a teacher of English. He's now fixing the 1965 DHN dozer. And so yeah, so I called the broker. I called the broker because he's actually my contact. I'm not supposed even to talk to the customer who hired him. I said, okay. And his name's Philip. I said, okay, Philip, this is it. I'm staying here. You guys get me 4 pails of hydraulic oil, SAE 10. I said, I will do you a favor. I will pour it myself. We don't need a mechanic. You just need to find somebody to deliver the oil. Just go to any auto parts store. That's where I bought the first 2 jugs, right? There was Advanced Auto Parts across the street from TA in Dansville. And that's it. So I said, just get me 4 jugs, 4 pails. I have the funnel, a big funnel. I'll pour them myself. I'm pretty sure 4, so that's another 20 gallons. Should be enough. So I'm positive that, because I saw a video where the guys were moving like a same, probably looked exactly like this one, and they brought 4 pails, so they added 20 gallons, right? And so I added 10. Now if we can get another 20, 30, that's already something, even though so 30 times 3.78, what is that? That's 100 liters. That's already a quarter of a tank, because the tank is 400 liters, like I said, right? 400 divided by what? 3.78. Yeah, 105. So the transmission thing, the transmission oil tank is 105 gallons on this dozer. And I paid 60 bucks. 60 bucks for 1 pail. And that's it. I said, I don't want to do any more email transfers. You know, you guys are shipping this, not very expensive, but it's probably expensive for people that bought it, right? Like in Africa, this thing is probably can sell for $1 million, you know. And so I told the guy, the broker, I said, okay, here's the website. It's called trackdown.com. Just trackdown.com, and you go there and you put in location, Newark, New Jersey, and okay, I added vibration, vibrate on ring. If they call me, because that dozer is very, I'm gonna go and wait there. Maybe it'll warm up, you know, when the engine is running. Maybe the transmission will warm up a little bit. Maybe it'll, because it was very slow going down. So I'm gonna go and try again. I'll take the camera with me just on an off chance that it'll start driving. But, and if they call me, so I added the vibration so that I will feel it. Oh, this is Sergei. Hey, Lawrence, wait, Lawrence, you calling me? This is Sergei, the driver. Okay, bye. Unbelievable. This is the customer. The customer says, I say, hey, this is Sergei, and he says, my name is Lawrence. And I'm like, I know who it is. Like, why are you telling me your name? And he says, my name is Lawrence. We're looking for a mobile mechanic. I said, wait. Anyway, I'll go better check on the dozer. Maybe just drag it off. I don't know, but what I'm gonna do after? But you know, if they would allow me to use one of these machines, it would be so easy to take an excavator and but then, you know, where do you put the bucket? You know, like to push it, right? Where do you put the bucket? Oh, in the back. In the back there's where all the cable is. It probably would be safe to push the bucket in there, you know. Like if I had permission to use one of these excavators. But then, you know, how are they gonna load this? It needs oil. It needs oil, man. All right, let's go see what we can see. Well, bye-bye port. I might be back. I never saw such a screw up in all my life. I'll tell you about it in a second. Let me just figure out what the heck is happening here. But I saw a previous guy go like this because I don't want to go next to that guy. They're moving some cars in here, basically between one side and the other. Now getting out of here will not be easy. So what do you guys think? Did I unload the dozer? I still cannot believe this. So the engine started, right? Everything is cool. The track's not running. Like no matter what I did, how many times I tried that stupid shifter, nothing. And so I called my in-house CAD expert, David. David says, yeah, you might need more oil. And I said, how much more? Because I think I saw on the dipstick something like 400. I assume it was like liters. And I asked him, I said, can it be like 400 liters, like 105 gallons? He says, no, cannot be that much. So I said, what do you think? How much? He says, well, maybe 40-50 gallons. Okay, that's more like it. All right, so, and my paperwork is signed, well, stamped. So they stamped my paperwork. I already sent POD to the broker. I sent the POD to my factoring company. I cannot start, the machine starts, right? They boosted it, but the tracks are not moving. So I called the customer, the broker. I said, okay, give me money, I'll go buy the oil. Because I was asking them to find a mobile guy, like, or some kind of a delivery service, like bring me the oil here, right? No, they cannot find anybody, they're helpless. Okay, I takes me 2 seconds on Google, I find a auto parts store 5 miles away. I call the guy, I said, do you have SAE hydraulic oil? The guy says, yes. So I said, how much? He says, 64 bucks for a 5 gallon jug. I said, okay. I said, do you do deliveries? The guy says, yes. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And then he says, but we don't take credit cards over the phone. Like, wait a second. So basically, you want me to go there in person, pay you with a credit card, and then you will do the delivery? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And so I call my customer. I say, okay, screw this. Send me money again, and Send me money by Interact transfer like you did last time. I told him the amount, and I said I'll go get an Uber.
Continue for 1.5 kilometers.
And by the way, this is the intersection where I had that incident with the booster. I was on this lane and the guy was coming here, and then all of a sudden the trailer decided to go sideways. So the guy sends me the money. Money sent. I check my email, nothing. Okay. I said no money. Oh, just wait 5-10 minutes. I wait 10 minutes, no money, no email from the bank. Usually it's like automatic, right? I said, okay, I'm booking the Uber, but if there's no money, I'll be a bit upset. And he calls me, he says, I swear, he says, I send the money. He says, sometimes it takes, 10-20 minutes, sometimes it's immediate. I said, okay, I'm in the taxi heading over to the warehouse. And so by the time I reached the warehouse, I had, I told him what it was, like $350 Canadian. That would cover Uber and 4 pails of oil. I come back, he unloads me. Of course, he cannot go inside the port. He drops me off at the exit there, where my truck is parked nearby. So I drop off the oil on the ground. I run to my truck. I drive the truck close. I load 4 pails inside the truck. I drive to the dozer, and I'm just ready to pour the oil, right? And then some guy shows up in a pickup truck and starts taking pictures of okay, where are we turning? Is it this way? Port Street. I think it's this way. How do I go in there? That's interesting. Okay, it wants me to go there like this. Where all these guys are going? They're going there. They're going past the Port Street. Okay, sorry about that. We're going past. Yeah, okay, now I remember. This is how I went. I don't want to go there. This is how I went with with the taxi cab. So it took us forever to get out of here. I hate this place. It's nuts. And so this guy starts screaming at me, we cannot take the machine. I said, what are you talking about? Yeah. The board is cancelled. You signed the paperwork. I already sent everything to the broker. The machine is delivered. He says no. He says no. We cannot take a machine like this. He says any kinds of leaks are. He says if this was like a small leak, we could have, kind of like plugged it or something. But something like this. But true enough, there was like a puddle in there, By the time I came back, like the puddle was probably like, I don't know, 6 feet long, 6 by 3. Like very dark oil. So I said, what about the paperwork? How am I supposed to drive? It's in bond. Basically, the guy, it's not his problem, you know. So he says, I'm gonna get you back your paperwork. So he drives away after taking a couple of more pictures, I'm guessing for his own collection. And then he comes back, brings me all my paperwork. It says void.
300 meters, use the middle lane to keep left.
And he says, can I please have my original that you received, the one with the stamp received? So he took that one. So I called the customer, I called the broker. They cannot believe this. I said, this is like really, like the broker calls it a load from hell. Okay. And so I said, you want me to push it into the ocean? Like, what are we doing? Because I said, I feel like killing somebody, you know. So I called, so while they're trying to figure out what's going on, I call my bond guy.
Use the middle lane to keep left.
Because, you know, my responsibility is to the bond guy. Because I cannot screw up. That's why I don't want to be a bonded carrier, because
In 500 meters, keep right at the fork to continue toward I-78 East. There's a 10-minute slowdown on I-95 South at 4 kilometers. You're still on the west road.
you see, like, it's a nightmare with a long truck. And so I called the bond guy. The bond guy says, well, good news, bad news. The bond is still valid. The bond, once it's issued, it's valid for 15 days. So he says, if your customer can get his stuff together
Keep left at the fork.
and, you know, plug the leaks,
In 600 meters, merge onto I-78 East.
then you can come back next week, let's say, you know, and the bond will still be in place. But I told him, I said, I perfectly understand that. I told the customer, I said, we cannot unload this in US. And he says, yeah, that's why. He says, I like working with you. I said, yeah, I know, it's a serious stuff. That's why, you know, I don't want to be a bonded carrier. I'd rather I'd rather use your bond, you know. And so yeah, because we told the US government that we are
Merge onto I-78 East, then take the I-95 South exit.
man, I hate these, but at least I'm not that wide.
Take the I-95 South exit, then keep right at the fork.
Like, if you can make it maybe a bit more, like, more narrow, it would be more fun. But this is like nothing. Like, you guys kidding me, right? You could have made it a bit more narrow.
Keep right at the fork.
this place already. And so he says, yeah, the good news is that the bond is still valid. So if you can fix it, go back to the port Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. And so I called the broker. I said, I don't want to talk to the customer. I feel a bit upset right now. Just tell him. Yeah, just tell him I'm staying in this area anyway until Monday or Tuesday. And this guy was laughing. He says, I'm honest. I said, I bought an accordion in Russia, so I cannot leave. It's an expensive accordion. I'm waiting for my friend. I'm waiting for my friend to bring me the accordion. He's landing in JFK on the 6th or 5th or something. And so he said, okay, so that's good. So I have to stay in the area anyway. But I said, I'm not gonna unload this. The only place I can unload this is the port. The same ports of America where I was. It's a bonded shipment. So I said,
500 meters, merge onto I-95 South.
So I said, you gotta find a mechanic. I'm gonna tell you where I'll be staying.
Just 8 minutes, slow down on I-95 South. 600 meters, you're still on the fastest route.
I said, I booked a hotel till Monday. I mean, I will, like, as we're talking, I say, I will book a hotel till Monday because I have to wait here for my friend. And I'll email you where I am. And so you guys should find a mechanic or something and fix it. Plug the holes, and I said definitely there should be some extra charge. If I have to go back to the port, there should be some extra charge. And the broker says, yeah, I understand. He says, you did your job, you delivered to the port. I did my job as a broker, right? We did everything. And so the only reason is the bad condition of the load. And so the customer went by what the auction told him, right? So the auction said in the description, working condition. And actually the broker says, I saw the video. They actually did a video about this machine. It was driving. And so when the customer, I remember he confronted the auction guy about this.
On I-95 South for 12 kilometers.
And the guy was pretty much like laughing, you know. He says, well, when we did the video, it was running. And so what can you say? He was not lying, right? So the machine was running. But then, because it had some leaks, it lost the, now I know, it lost the transmission fluid. That's why it doesn't want to go into gear. And looks like the old owner tried to fix the left side sprocket, that drive wheel case, because the bolts are new, there's no leaks there. But on the right, the bolts are old, and that's where it's leaking, right from under the case on the inside, on the inside of the track where this big sprocket is. And yeah, and I understand the port guy, and he says it's hazardous. Basically, you put this on a ship, it'll have oil. Somebody can fall and break a leg or something, right? So you cannot have oil on the floor inside the ship. It has to be clean, right? And so I understand everybody except that why am I the last guy, kind of like, why am I the guy who is left without the chair, you know? But I'm definitely getting more money out of this because I was paid to deliver to the port, right? Like what I'm doing now, it's already extracurricular activity. So I went to the hotel, I'm going to the hotel, then hopefully Monday, Tuesday I'm driving back, but I don't I don't have high hopes, because I told them, like I said, bring me the oil, right? Like the guy says, can you go and get it? I said, no, you find somebody, bring me the oil. Like I said, I already did too much. Like, I don't want to leave my truck and trailer here. I mean, I don't want to leave the trailer here. And then eventually, see, that's what I did, but instead I hired Uber. And look at this guy. Oh, that's police. Okay, if you're police, you can do it. No sirens, no nothing. I'm pretty sure he's just, you see, and he just went into this lane. Son of a gun. Uh-oh, and now there's a guy in a private car doing the same thing. So if he passes the cop like this, we're gonna have some trouble. Look at this. There's a Honda SUV zooming by on the shoulder. Check this out. And the cop is right in the front. Uh-oh, the guy saw the cop. Oh, now he's backing. Maybe there's you see, I see the reflection of lights. Okay, check this out. You see, boom, right away, got it. So he's stopping this guy. But he just did the same thing himself. Like, why are you stopping somebody else for doing the same thing? Like, I guess this guy didn't realize it, that he was a cop or something. But man, that SUV is such, you know, so mean looking. A mean looking SUV. It's so huge. So yeah, he's gonna get the guy a ticket, because he blocked the shoulder. That guy cannot go anywhere. He'll just come out the door. Come here. Yeah, serves them right? Otherwise everybody would be driving on shoulders. What the heck? What's wrong with you? And look, there's no exit. Like, why are you driving? Like, I understand some people, you know, where there's like, you stuck in a jam and there's an exit like 100 meters away, 300 feet. Okay. But look, there's like a mile to the next exit, and this guy wanted to drive all this on the shoulder. Past Captain Sergei. Never gonna happen. And so anyways, that's what's happening. So we still have the bond, we still have the driver, we still have the truck, we still have the dozer. At least now I have oil. I know I can fix the non-working tracks, except now that guy also noticed, and I noticed, he says, when I left the dozer, the leak was only out of that sprocket, but now we see a slight leak from under the middle of the machine where the transmission is. And of course that explains it, why there's no transmission fluid. So there must have been a leak, and that just proves it. Oh, wait a second, he let the guy go. Oh no, that's a Nissan. That guy was a Honda. No, that Honda is getting a ticket for sure. And I just need to go 5 miles to the next exit. Exit 12. But yeah, this is you see, it's, and I called the hotel just because I had some bad issues here with the hotels in this area. You know, you go to the hotel even empty, it was very difficult to get into the parking lot. But I found this one. This is what is this? Red Inn, a Red Inn Plus. I found this one. I checked the satellite picture. It's like a building, and there's a big parking all around it. But I'm not sure how sharp the angles are, because on the Google Maps it doesn't look very good. Like, I'm supposed to do like a U-turn like this and then go like this. You know, I hope I'm not gonna get stuck in there, but Worst case scenario, instead of doing it like this, I will back. I will ask him to move some cars. I'll say, guys, I have nowhere to go. It's getting dark. It's an oversized load. But I called him, actually. You know what? I called him. I said, look at this, people. I called him. I said, hey, I see you have parking, but it doesn't tell me if it's a truck parking, regular parking. And the lady at the counter says, oh yeah, trucks park here all the time, because we have some, you know, like a promotion for truckers here. And I know never to trust that, so I said, wait, when you mean trucks, do you mean like straight trucks or trucks with trailers? She says, yeah, trucks with trailers. Okay, so now even if let's say I don't fit in there, I'll tell her, you told me that trucks with trailers are okay, but I already paid for 3 nights, so I'll find a way to get in there. Because what helps is that I have flip axles where I can take out the air, right? I can take out the air, and then the trailer will turn as if it only has 2 axles. So I know my trailer, you know, I can get into tight spots now. All right, 7 kilometers to my exit, and it's already getting dark. And so yeah, so these guys could not organize the paint. You know, like, I'm in the urban area, right? Like this, it took me 2 minutes, like I said. Answer. Hello? Sergei, yeah. Yeah. Wait, are you from like a repair shop or something? Okay, well, I talked to a mechanic. I think it's some kind of a gasket, or basically it's a dozer. Are you familiar with so the dozer has a big sprocket in the end, you know, like an excavator. It has like a big wheel that rotates the track, right? In the very back, it's like where the power comes in. And so it has a case on the inside. There's a case with some bolts, like a round plate. And I'm guessing there's oil in there, and that's the left side looks like new, the bolts are new, so it looks like whoever had this machine before, they fixed the left side, but the right hand side with the sprocket, they didn't fix it, and so the oil just comes through the, you know, the bolts and this cap, so to speak. So I cannot see. So it's not a hose, it's not hydraulic. It's not the actual hydraulic system, which, yeah, it's not the hydraulic. I think it's what they call it. It's like a differential, you know, like a gearbox fluid. It's because that thing is like a gearbox. So yeah, it's not the actual hydraulics, because this thing, it doesn't have a dozer. Sorry, it doesn't have a blade. They removed the blade, and they removed the C-frame, which is like a thing that supports the blade. So we don't need the hydraulics to be working. But what we had trouble with, because it has a leak in the middle, where the transmission is. So it lost oil, and as I found out, these dozers they don't run, like the tracks cannot move if you don't have enough oil in the transmission. And so actually I went and I bought some oil, but then, you know, the guy in the port kicked me out because they didn't like that it has leaks. But yeah, because they said they called the shipping line, and the shipping line definitely said, he says, yeah, if it was like a couple of drops, you know, we could have hide it, but this thing, by the time I came back, it was like a puddle, maybe 6 by 2 feet, you know, like all black oil coming out of that socket. So I think it needs, just tell them, yeah, it's not hydraulics, it's the gearbox on the right hand side. So it probably needs like some kind of a seal or gasket is leaking there somewhere, you know. So and there's a slight leak from the transmission case. So transmission and differential, pretty much, that's what it is. Yeah, that sprocket drive, that big wheel that rotates the track. So it's not hydraulics. I'm just going to, I booked a hotel because I cannot stay at the port in there, right? There's no parking everywhere, so I just moved like 10 miles south on 95 from you know, Newark Liberty International Airport. So yeah, so I'm just driving south on 95. I'll be at exit 12, 1-2 exit. Oh, so I just passed you basically. Yeah, so I'm somewhere close by, so I'll be at this I'll be at the hotel there. I hope I can fit in, but they told me they're okay with the truck and trailers, so yeah, probably. Or of course, better the ideal situation would be if you could send somebody over, but yeah, if you want me to.
3 kilometers, take exit 12 toward Carmen Raleigh.
Okay. All right. So let me check. I'll email my broker. I'll give him the exact address where I will be, and then you guys. Yeah, sure. But it's a very old cat. So it's a 1965 D8H, no D8N, I think. So it's very old, but the engine is running. You know, the engine is running. It's just some issues with this, with the transmission and. D8N, D8. It's like a D8 dozer. Yeah, just ask him to call me a little bit later because I have to find parking at the hotel. I'll be busy like for the next half an hour, but then after that you can call me anytime, okay? Okay, thank you. Bye. Oh yeah.
600 meters,
I was just saying that they couldn't find anybody to deliver the oil, so I had doubts that they would find a mechanic, and all of a sudden this lady is calling me, and she's from some kind of a repair service. All right, now let the fun begin. Oh, and she says they're at exit 13.
Continue for 1 kilometer.
So they're somewhere really close. Okay, so we'll go like this. Man, I hope I don't get stuck somewhere there. I really don't like this, like these things when I see on Google Maps this.